Hi, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be reassembling this GX160. I'll be using my cylinder hone to hopefully redo the cylinder walls, make them a little bit better because they look terrible right now, but not too bad. You can barely feel any kind of, like little nick in it, so I've seen far worse come back around. I'll be doing that, put a new piston, ring set in it, head gasket, set new valve lash, all that good stuff, and we'll see how it goes. And I'll try to see if I can mock up an idea for that generator exhaust setup. I'm not sure if it'll work in its current form. It's kind of funky angle. All right, here we have the pile of new parts came in. Really didn't take all that long, so that was pretty awesome. Get to reassembling this here in a few minutes. All right, so I'm just going to use the old Motorola for this. Probably not the greatest idea, I suppose, but it'll work. Put a little on here. Glue down the cylinder walls. Don't take too much off neither, so that could be problematic. Don't get any oil in these holes. Alright. See what happened. Alright, so there's not like, it's hard to show there, super great cross hatching. It's actually a bit harder than I would have expected to do. That's what I thought it was in the other day. Don't have it in here. Pop this sucker back on. Oh, I see. They just kind of sit there and they're held in place by the pressure of the valve spring. Easy enough. It'll stay off for a while. Alright, so I guess that's it for that for now. Now I have to put new piston and rings on. The old piston, and hopefully not lose a wrist pin clip because they come out fast. Alright, that one thankfully did not. Remember how this one comes out. So you do not want to put them in backwards. Do I think it will change anything? Probably not. Do I want to take the chance? No, I do not. Here she comes. Okay, that goes like that. Now I have to reassemble the new piston. There they are. Alright. I'm just going to assume these rings are already gapped for this. Alright, that's one ring down. Let's put this oil one down as well. We gotta also make sure nothing gets lined up. It's a sure sign to losing compression. There we go. My goodness, this last one's gonna be sucky to get in there. Gosh, what a tight gap that is. But I'm hoping there is a difference between upper and lower ring. Okay. Just one R. One R. R. Okay, so this right here. That one there. Set this one 180 out from that one. And we can only hope this thing doesn't burn oil anymore. Alright, rings are not lined up. Slide this on there. The first pin in there. You know what we should do? Put her in some motor oil here. There she goes. Through the rod to the other side. Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Scared myself. Thought I didn't have enough clips, but I just realized I didn't take the other clip out of the other side. So I gotta do that. Alright, cool if we don't lose that. Alright, or break it. That would suck too. Pull the clips out. Putting them back in is much harder than taking them out. Ask me how I know. Part scares me more than putting them in. Got lucky there. That one didn't fly out, but it kicked out. There she goes. Get that one snap into place. One more to go. I don't think that's seated yet. No, I guess she is. I was right, it's not seated. Okay. That is that for the rings. Get them about 180 out. And she's about ready to go back in. Alright, I had to pause the camera there for a minute. That took a little bit more than I thought it was going to. To pop the piston in. Yeah, that's just a Harbor Freight piston ring compressor, and honestly I do not recommend it unless you're willing for like a bit of a fight, a little bit of a struggle. Never fought with one that hard. Gosh, that thing was really giving it its all. But hey, got it in there. Everything looks pretty good, honestly. It looks really good. We're really hoping I say that same line when it's running. So, alright, on to the next step. Alright, now I'm just putting the end cap on and tightening the end cap bolts, which I realized a little bit of a problem. I don't think my torque wrench can fit in there. So I'll see what I can finagle here. Got an idea. Just don't want to be like Boosted Boys and run with no torqued rod bolts. That doesn't end well. Alright, let's see if that in fact is a 10mm. Ooh, it might work. It's not the greatest idea, but it's an idea. tight there. Alright. Check my torque so I can move on. And it's left stuff going on here. Alright, so it says 10 Newton meters. Another thing to be aware of when you're working in engines, things are not made to be touched. There you have to be careful. Didn't even feel it, that's how sharp it was. Just slice it. Big Newton meters. Oof, it'll work. Check this ghetto stuff out. A little fast. For good measure. Alrighty. Play nice now. Oof, that is some nasty oil. Alright, I feel confident in that working. We'll move on to the next step. Alright, I just cleaned off the front cover. I'll be putting the front cover back on. Sealing that up. Hindsight, if I was smart. Right into place. Crank seal still looks good. You have irons, don't force things. You just gotta kind of wiggle it. When you force it, you usually break it and say, why did I do that? Gosh, this thing's dirty. I have to power wash this thing. Plan is to restore those Jacobsons also. I think that would be nice to have just fully restored Jacobsons. I'll repaint them. These are 13s. But repaint them, make them look all nice. I might have to find the right size. Alright, so I got the front cover torqued down. I didn't do anything really fancy. I just kind of went back and forth, you know, different spots, kind of like doing lug nuts. I don't know what the real torque sequence is. Honestly, I don't really care. It'll be fine. If it leaks, it's on me. It's my own engine. Alright, so now I just put the intake valve in, put the valve seals down there, put everything together. Did the same thing over here. Pop that in. Hold that tight. Take your spring and this retainer there and just pop it in diagonally past the lip. And there she goes. That's all together. Realistically, that is ready to go back on. It's not very dirty anymore compared to how it was when it came out. Same way, that's stupid. Okay, don't mind me mumbling. Alright. Set the head down on. Actually, I'm not going to do that just yet. I've done any last bits. Can't imagine that's going to cause any issues. The gasket wasn't blown before. Let's get that all lined up. This job, as long as you know your way around tools, like if you're, you know, relatively mechanically inclined, and if you're not, it's not a bad way to learn. These engines are pretty easy to work on. They're pretty forgiving. camera a whole bunch and back double check them. This is a muffler off of, it's like a GX160 or something weird like that. It's off of a 2200i Honda generator. See, it's a Honda part number. My plan was to put this on here and it's going to sit all stupid looking like that. It'll look weird. It'll run into the rocker cover probably a little bit, but the bolt holes line up, the exhaust kind of lines up. The only issue I'm running into there is that it's actually, these bolt holes are too small, which I didn't really think of that. I'm kind of tempted to unbolt it right here and find flanges from exhaust. Like, I'm sure I've got piles of exhaust at work. I'll sort through them, see what I can snag for a couple bucks. I'm going to weld together my own manifold and get this sucker on here. Alright, so if you're wondering push rods, it's about that time. Just slide them down in. This one probably does actually matter, but I totally forgot because I had my cat in here earlier. You might hear in one of the edits of the video this chirping going on in the background. My cat was flying around and messed up where all my stuff went, so he's no longer in the room. But I don't know which push rod went where. I don't know which valve spring went where. So we'll just see how that goes. I hope that I did it right. And for this, what you can do is you can push down on the valve, pop it in place. Push down on the valve, pop the push rod in place. So then for this, the spec is 0.006 for intake and exhaust. And you just need a feeler gauge and some wrenches to set your valve lash. Which I have not touched the valve lash on this at all yet, so I'm curious to see how that is. Top dead center. Looks like it was it. Wow. You know, actual timing on these is quarter past top dead. For anyone wondering. Just about any small engine that I've ever come across. I just poke them through. This one doesn't want to. Still does not want to. That's way too tight. Let's try a different stroke because I thought that was it. Just running that brand new piston dry. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? Wow, that's like pretty damn snug. This one's like perfect. Alright, so after double checking the exhaust one, that one feels pretty good to me. I'm just gonna change the intake, just back it out just a tiny bit. Be a lot of it, oh my goodness. There feels pretty good actually. Make sure it's nice and tight, I don't want it falling apart. Let's see where we're at. A little tight on that one, but it's plus or minus. Alright, so a little tight on the other one, but it's plus or minus 0.001, so take that as a win. Which means that is all good. Put the rocker cover back on, which I realized I did not order a rocker cover gasket, so this hot mess is probably going to leak. But regardless, whoa, that's not a good start, just flopped it down. This is getting torqued down. We'll be hoping for the best. Guess it's one of these several tiny bolts I've got laying around. My goodness, organization is not there in this one. It's okay. opposite sides. It's started. So I'm not going to be putting the exhaust back on this just yet. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Probably that's how we get to work. That out. That we want the tall one. Don't want to put the old exhaust back on to just run this thing, because the old exhaust being filled with oil, soot, half burnt oil, it's just going to smoke like crazy the next time this thing starts. I don't want that, because I want to know if I actually fixed it or not. So I should have just ordered a new muffler with all this other stuff. I thought about it, but a little too late. The order already had been placed. I don't know what hole that came out of. So a good trick, if you're a little worried about not putting your linkage back right, just use your phone and take just a bunch of pictures of the linkage. I do it all the time when I work on something new. There's something like this that I've done more times than I can remember. I won't take pictures of it usually, but something new, take a picture of it. Afraid of forgetting about it? Take a picture of it. Put the spark plug back in it so nothing gets dropped down in the hole, because that would be sad. There, there. You know, we're not gonna do that in case I get carried away and start it. So it's not ready to start. No oil in it. Another bummer that would be. What's not fun is making a gas bill in your own freaking house. Wouldn't recommend doing that. Put this back on. Those don't have to be super tight. Just snug really is all you need. That'll be fine. Just snug. I don't know where this bolt came from. It doesn't look like it belongs on this machine at all. Where would it have came from? I've only disassembled this machine on this table. I'm just gonna keep on moving on. It's not important, I guess. Alright, so that's all together. Leakage is good. Don't choke. Fuel shut off. Cool. Alright. I'm gonna put this air filter assembly back together. Now, second thought, I'm just gonna put the, might need that. I'm going to put the exhaust back on it just for now, just so it's all in one piece. I'm not gonna torque it down though, and I'm not gonna start the machine until I have a different muffler on it, so I know for certain it's not burning oil. And they couldn't have made this bolt any longer. Every time I work on one of these and change the air filter or something, I think the same thing. Couldn't have made that bolt any longer. Oh, hey, where'd you go? There they are. Alright, exhaust gasket. That only goes one way. So I'm working on the other side of the camera. Just that. Just make it look like a machine again. Make it look like it could run. Could run. And like I said before, if this does not fix the problem, I will be going to Harbor Freight and buying a 212 Predator because they're on sale for $149 right now. And oh, by the way, so I am at my cost. I'm at $51 in parts and $10 for the motor and oil. I just Rotella 1540 I had laying out back for oil, so I'm only like $65 into this thing if you include my oil. It's really not that bad. Alright, so this is the initial startup attempt. I'm pretty confident it's going to start. I do think it might smoke a little bit. I cleaned out the muffler with a torch trying to get all the soot and oil out of it, so I did lie. I said I was going to put a new exhaust on it, but I think that might work. I just want to see if it runs. Otherwise, I'm just going to set it aside and get a Predator, so we'll see how she goes. Now I just got to hold on to it, stop it from bouncing around. Oh, that was easier than, still needs choke. Not sure how much that shook the camera pretty bad, but it sure shook me. I'd say she's good. It did not burn any oil. That is awesome. So I'll start the process of installing the engine back on. Got the clutch housing here. Yeah, I'd like to upgrade that someday, but hey. If you know anything about these greens mowers, they can be expensive to obtain. And on top of that, upgrading them is pretty expensive. Just replacing stock parts with stock parts adds up enough as it is that, you know, going beyond that can be quite something. I don't remember how far I had this on there, actually. I should have thought about that. I keep touching the exhaust. It's not like hot, but it's definitely not cold. It is cold outside. It's 20 degrees out right now. Certainly makes this clutch housing stick. Start with that, slide it on here, and then I'll tighten all that up once I get it aligned. I'm gonna have to realign it. First time I put this on here, I forgot to put the clutch fresh material on, which is what I'm about to do again probably. So got these guys, 2-piece set. done. That's that. Actually, that might work right there. Alright, so from here, you just gotta line up these holes. That'll make sense. Or I did, and I lost the bolt. Which, as you can probably see in the sides, the shed is not very neat right now. Fall kind of ran up fast on me, and I wasn't really willing to accept the fact that the, course season was over. So I kind of all of a sudden found it that it was snowing one day and threw everything in the shed as fast as I could. And now I've got a bombshell in here. It's just a big old mess. We'll be taking care of that in the spring though. Problematic that I brought all my tools inside because I certainly need them right now. I will put a fourth bracket on here. I haven't yet because the engine kept coming off, so I don't have anything there. I will put another one on. I left it off just because I was trying to see if anything would work. Sense in going 110% if it's got no chance of actually working. Like this side, it's in the way, but I can't run with the two because it'll hit the drum. It's actually close to hitting the drum right now. Just tighten it up real quick. And so here I'm going to test if everything works. We will see. Go on. Alright, it needed more oomph than that apparently. There, just me popping that stand off from the back. With no resistance on it, it didn't disengage the clutch, but when you're on the ground, it disengages the clutch. Maybe not, that one it grabbed right there, but that'll just take some tinkering and whatnot, but pretty happy about that right now. It runs, it doesn't smoke, a little bit of a surge there, but the gas that's been in it has been in there for months now. I'm sure it's just bad gas. I've never even rebuilt that carburetor. I just, like I said in the video, the teardown, I've never touched it, so I should have, but I'd say it's a success. I just got to backlap it, set my reel to bed knife clearance tighter now. I loosened it a lot so it could just freely spin. That's about it for right now. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Obviously I can't use the mower right now. It's, it's snowing pretty good, but as you saw, I tore it down, kind of assessed what I needed on top of what I already ordered, what I assumed what it would need. And then I put everything back together, had a few issues here and there, but nothing too crazy. And now popped it on the mower, a few adjustments later. Everything seems to be working pretty good, so I'm pretty happy about that. The stalling issue when I was engaging the clutch was actually, this thing must not have been driven in a very long time, because all I did was took my water pump pliers and I just moved it back and forth, and it felt like it was kind of just a little stuck. but now everything works. Yeah, I think it'll be ready for mowing. I'm really happy about that. Thanks for tuning in today, and see you in the next video.